Commissioner Cherico is Chair of Public Affairs. Commissioner Cherico, it's all yours.
Thanks so much, Commissioner Norris. Let's start with the receipt of reports for the month of April. We're going to start off with property maintenance. Mr. Brown, are you here?
I
Right on
am.
time.
There he is. Thank you and welcome.
Good evening,
Uh,
everyone.
Appreciate you. Wondering if you can kind of give us, I know I saw in the report lots of time spent at the pools. Any chance you could give us an update on where we stand since summer is fast approaching?
Yes, yes. Thank you for asking. There's a few highlights that I just wanted to kind of give you guys a heads up on. I know last month we spoke about the damaged water line over at Glenside Pool. Just a heads up that has been taken care of. Aqua has agreed to take charge and repair that water line. So that is
Great news.
has been fixed. Roland Community Center was de-winterized. There were several leaks, but they have been repaired. Conklin Pool painting is complete, and we're just letting it dry. We were doing some touch up today, and we'll let it dry, and we may, fingers crossed, start filling by Friday.
Wow.
That's the goal. Glenside Pool is 90% complete, so weather permitting, tomorrow it looks fairly well in the afternoon. We can get in there and continue to touch up. And then we'll give that the required time for that product to dry, and we can start filling that, fingers crossed, Monday. There's a lot of work that went into the pools. As you mentioned, there was a good amount of hours logged for that pool. We've been working on it for some time. And since we're talking about the pools, now that you see in the monthly report that we are starting to implement the cost per task, per activity, per facility, so that you guys will be able to so that everyone can see kind of where our money as far as the maintenance operating budget is going. Just to give a little insight. And I know that's a big number. The majority of it is pool paint. We use a specialized pool paint for our aging pools. And then, just some other minor things that we need for our seasonal operation. So
Feel free
pools
to
are
call
looking,
me.
sorry,
No, you're good.
pools are looking good. We'll continue to plug away. We only have what do you say, Bill? Like 2 weeks or so before opening day. What's
10 days.
10 days. So we are right up against it, but we're looking good. Um,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
I also wanted to bring up. I know that in the report it says Glenside Hall roof work is scheduled to begin the week of May 10th. That project is complete. So if anyone has driven by Glenside Hall, you'll notice a brand new section of roof over the main hall. And the company jumped right in. An effort between several departments in the township. Not just me, not just Bill. It was it was a
Sam.
combination. Sam, but between all of us and the company, they heard our request to get it done because pool season is right around the corner, and they complied. So that project is finished.
Wow.
Yeah, and Alan, if I can just add to that, I don't know if you realize this or not, but the company who did the roof, they cleaned the grounds as well. I had a group scheduled to come in and do a cleaning of the grounds of Glenside Hall tonight, and I had to send them somewhere else because it was already done.
Wow,
So,
good stuff.
They did a
yeah.
That's
wonderful
awesome.
job. Yeah, they did an excellent job. Very professional, very clean, and very fast. Um, and That's pretty much it. I know, we have something about the Lamont meeting. If Bill wants to kind of, or Allison wants to kind of chime in on that, we've been plugging away with the design, and that is looking really good as well for the the upgrade project. So yeah, I think that's all I have
All
as of
right.
for now.
Appreciate it. Commissioners, anyone have any questions? Yes, we do. Commissioner Lewis.
Yes, thank you. One, I want to applaud the staff for doing the extraordinary work. Sounds like they're ahead of schedule with the roof being done and the pools. My question is are there any concerns that we should be aware of regarding the pools opening, any potential showstopper?
Yeah, the water's cold.
Weather.
So, I mean, I think that being that we would love to get that pool filled as soon as possible so that if we get some nice weather, that'll kind of warm up the pool so we're not filling it like the day before how we have in the past. So we jumped on this like as soon as we had some good weather, good structured weather. We worked on this when it was cold. We worked on this just so we could kind of, because I mean, you asked, is there anything wrong? I mean, one pool was built in 68, the other built in 71, right? So
That's what's wrong.
well, we continue to plug away. We work diligently because this is a big amenity in the township, and we want to make sure that we give our residents the best product that we can possibly give.
For sure.
So we are continuing to work, and we'll continue to work until this pool is open. As of now, there's nothing on the horizon that I will say that is noteworthy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Commissioner Stein.
Two things. First, I drove by Glenside Hall on Mother's Day and was shocked that they were up there on the roof, putting the roof on. So that was amazing. So thank you for that. And then my other question, I've gotten a couple questions. I know the polling location in Lamont Community Center, it can't be there because the building's closed. And so I've gotten a couple questions on how long it's going to be closed, which made me think, where are we at in the bid process? I couldn't tell, like, have we put those bids out?
We are wrapping up the designs and hopefully we're very close to putting it out. We're just trying to get the final details together, and also making sure that we're meeting all the grant funding guidelines before we do that. But we're very, very close.
Okay.
But we are behind schedule from
Yes.
So I talked to Drew at Revision and he suggested that we are looking at like maybe a September start date. Right? Is that kind of what we're thinking?
That's correct. Yeah, we wanted to work through a bunch of details on the site that were of concern. We wanted to make sure that we got everything as close and studied as possible so that when we open the building up and start the project that we're limiting the number of surprises. When we're looking at projects this large, there's always something that's going to go wrong. Unfortunately, there's always going to be a surprise that we find. And we're trying to minimize that as best as we can ahead of time, so that it minimizes the need for change orders. So we took a little extra time through the design process to make sure that we know as many factors as possible before we go out to bid.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Any questions from this community? All right, so let's head on to item, what is it, B? Well, no, not lettered. Let's go to Parks and Rec. Mr. Salvatore.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Before I do the summer preview presentation, any questions about the report? There are some things I would like to highlight if possible. Most importantly, you may have noticed that I added a bullet point around natural lands and trails, because now that the Active Transportation Committee is up and running and we're looking at how to program this space, it's important to know what we have going on out there. So with that being said, there is a group of residents in the township that would like to celebrate Disability Pride Month in July by doing some sort of accessible trail walk. So be on the lookout for that. We're planning that as we speak because we want our trails to be accessible to all, not just, able-bodied folks. So We're really happy about that. And then just to piggyback on the last conversation, Alan is incredibly humble in his talking about the pools. What him and Ron are able to do as a two-man show is absolutely unbelievable. And Commissioner Lewis, to your point of what could go wrong, Alan's thought of it all. The motors are either new or refurbished. The pools have been patched. Like everything has been thought through. The gutters have been addressed on the buildings. It's just one thing after another. And then on top of it, the the high school and college kids started this week on their pool prep. And as I've said for 2 straight years, and I'll say it for a third year, the young people in this township are exceptional in their work ethic and the work that they put out. I'm just so happy with the staff that we're able to hire from in and around the township.
Excellent.
So if there's no questions, I guess I can share my screen. Allison, am I good?
I'll have to have Ashley do that. I think she's the host tonight. There
I'm
you go.
good. I'm good.
All right.
Yeah, let's see here. Can everybody see?
We can.
Yes.
There we go. All right. So it's not terribly long, but I do want to highlight all the good things we have coming this summer. So we'll start with our camps. Once again, we're bringing back the sports camp over in Glenside. So we make use of the hall as our base of operations, the pool, and the field space, including the courts back there. It's a 9-week program that introduces a new sport every week. Each week we get unique instructors. Sylvester from my team will be doing soccer. I'll be doing basketball. Then we bring in some other instructors as well. Really proud that we can offer a 3-to-1 camper to counselor ratio on this so that, individual campers get as much one-on-one time with the counselor as they can when it comes to engaging in that sport. And then we do some specialty trips. The baseball softball week, we go to Citizens Bank Park. The multi-sport week, we go down to the link. We take them golfing at Burholm. We do all kinds of fun stuff as part of this. We do weekly registration for that. So if you only want your child to do golf, that's fine. But if you need childcare for 9 weeks, we're happy to do that at a discount. There's a list of sports. There's the crew last year at the esports lab down at Broad and Spring Garden at Nerd Street headquarters. You'll notice that we bookend the summer with swim camp, and that's because swim is probably the most important skill that we can teach in the summertime. We think that every kid should be an excellent swimmer and be able to, at least get themselves out of the gym and their family out of the gym if they're in that situation. So, yeah, it's a lot of fun. We had a great time with it last year, and all the parents loved it. And I made the mistake of adjusting the ages, and I got major pushback on not letting 5th graders come this year. So we changed it and we let 5th graders come this year because they had so much fun last year. They didn't want to move to summer recess, which should be next up. Summer recess, as we just talked about, Lamont, kind of being closed for the next year or so. We've moved summer recess to Roland. So thank you to Alan for getting that building prepped for us. Summer recess is geared for 1st through 6th graders, and we do break it into age-appropriate groupings. So 1st and 2nd graders are together, 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th. A little bit different than sports camp. This is your traditional summer camp experience where you do a little bit of everything, arts and crafts, sports, special guests come in. We have a dance instructor, an art teacher, that sort of thing. We do some fun trips as part of it. And we do this in 2 4-week encampments. So you can either do first session, second session, or both. And again, if you do the full summer, we provide a discount, which is exciting. And then my most exciting news about summer camps is that for the first time ever, we're doing before and after care, because we fully recognize that parents cannot always drop their kids off at 9 and pick them up at 3. So by popular demand, you can drop your child off at 8 and pick them up at 6 anytime you need to for a small additional fee. So it's really important, and it's just a lesson that we need to take everywhere when it comes to camp stuff, because it's just not the nature of the world these days for us to be able to have the 9 to 3 experience at summer camp for everybody. Some other program we're offering, the fishing derby is May 30th down at the pond. Shout out to Bob Dominic and his team for getting the pond prepped. We will drop the fish in there probably that Friday, and then we'll have the fishing derby. Previous to that, TTF will be out to do a learn to fish class from 8 to 8:45 before we start the derby. So they provide rods and bait and all that stuff. So it's a really good experience for kids who just want to have a little bit of experience learning how to fish, or for seasoned fishermen as well. We have 2 senior programs, a senior social club we started about 6 weeks ago, really popular. It's at Glenside Hall on Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock. They've been doing some field trips. And we still have the senior walking club every Friday at 10 o'clock, and they kind of meander around the township, checking all the various park spaces that they can walk through. We're partnering with a biking group to do a mountain bike camp down at Gimbal Field on the new trail for a couple weeks in July. We have a tot fit and flip program for really little ones that do, mommy and me, daddy and me, you and me type activities. And then Commissioner Norris, I know you'll like to see this. Once FIFA approves it, we're going to do a watch party for the last U.S. World Cup game on June 19th over here in Glenside. We'll get the food truck out and make it a soccer jubilee type of day. But FIFA has yet to approve our application. So once they get through, we'll be able to announce that for sure. Park events, some partner stuff here. Arts and Parks coming up on the 31st of this month. The High School Park Concert Series is there. Our concert series will come later in this presentation. Grove Park's doing a spring picnic the first Saturday in June, and then Sundays in the Parkway continue till Flag Day on June 14th. So a lot of stuff going on in the parks. Some of it's passive, some of it's active. Something for everybody, as I like to say. We're doing 2 flag raisings. The first of which is Monday, June 1st at the Township Building. That would be the Pride flag raising. Commissioner Brockington, who isn't here, did have a conversation with some residents in Lamont, recognizing the historical significance of the community as well as the year that we're in with America 250. They asked if we can do the flag raising over at the community center, and I have no issues with it. So we're going to move it there probably just for this year, and then bring it back to the Township Building. I do want to be clear that we will have a Pride flag at the Township Building. I mean, a Juneteenth flag at the Township Building. But the official ceremony will be in Lamont. So that's exciting, and people should have invites on that. The pools, Alan mentioned it. They open in 10 days, Memorial Day weekend. We're ready to go. Bringing back some old favorites like swim lessons for all levels, including preschoolers and adults. Our swim team is back at both Conklin and Glenside. She could be a Barracuda or a Dolphin, but we do have an adult swim team this year. They placed 3rd last year in the league. I won't say how many teams there were, but it was 3. We are adding an early hours lap swim at Conklin. We've had several requests that people want to do their laps before they go to work. So we add an additional program from 6 to 7:30, 2 days a week. I mean, people want to do it, so we do it, right? And I have staff willing to do the 6 a.m. shift because they have things to do later in the morning. So what the heck? Let's give the people what they want, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
We'll bring back poolside yoga, aqua Zumba, very popular. They start the week of July, after July 4th. Century Swim was extremely popular for those neurodiverse individuals who can't be around a noisy pool all the time. Flick and Floats are back. We'll do movie nights, and Goat House will be at both locations again. So really excited about the pool happenings. We've beaten home all the Cheltenham 250 events, but just a reminder that Memorial Day celebration is a week from Saturday down at Central and the Parkway at the Veterans Memorial. If you haven't submitted a name to be remembered, feel free to do so. There's an online form through the website to do that. We have flags to plan for every individual we want to recognize, and we are going to recognize the 400 plus soldiers from Camp William Penn as well. Summer kickoff party is at Linwood Hall on June 13th. Good news and bad news, the VIP event is sold out. So that's good news from a revenue standpoint. It's bad news for people who want to get inside the hall. But the public event is still happening at 6 o'clock with the food trucks and the beer garden and the drone show at dusk. So that'll be fun. House of Declaration is a partnered program with the county. We are going to read the Declaration of Independence at Wall House on July 3rd, and several commissioners are going to participate, which is great. I also have a 6-foot replica of the Declaration of Independence with all the names blacked out other than John Hancock for anyone in attendance to sign to do their own little signing of the Declaration. It should be pretty cool. And then, of course, the parades. How can you forget the East Side and West Side parades? And special shout out to a certain commissioner on the call who wanted a concert at Gimbel Field. Not only are they getting a concert, but they are also getting the Battle of the Breweries. That was former Commissioner Jim Linfeld's idea to have the breweries compete on something fun. So we have 9 breweries creating a America 250 specific beer, which will be pretty neat.
Cool.
Yep. And then the concert schedule, I won't run through it, but it's robust, right? We went from 6 concerts at Curtis before I got here to whatever we're up to now, 11 concerts at various locations, some with the beer garden, some without. So it's exciting to see that, we're able to engage different parts of the community in different areas. And the places that have friends groups, they pick the bands, they pick the food trucks if the food truck's available to, give them what they want in their neighborhood, right? Not everybody wants jazz, not everybody wants country. You get to, have your neighborhood vibe, so to speak. So yeah. Oh, something that I will call out here on Sunday, September 20th, we were asked by the Valley Forge Tourism Board if we'd be interested in hosting the Montgomery County Jazz Festival. And because they heard good things about our concert series. So I said, sure, why not? And I checked in with Robinson because they're the so-called jazz friends group right now. And they said they'd love to host it. So I believe we are hosting the closing event. And there's a slight chance, I don't know if it's finalized, that the opening event would be at Elkins Estate. So more on that to follow when I hear about it. And then finally, how can I forget my people? This is who makes the magic happen. I get to talk about it, but they do a lot of the heavy lifting with me. So we do celebrate Park and Rec Professionals Day on Friday, July 17th this year. And we celebrate everyone who works for the department and with the department, not just those of us who are quote unquote park professionals, because the young people that manage the camps and the pools every single day of the summer isn't easy, right? Alan and his team isn't easy. And then of course, Kelly, Josh, Sylvester, and Glynis really knock it out of the park to help me program as much as I can everywhere I can. So that's all I got for that. So I will stop sharing. And if there's any questions.
I wish you would just start planning some summer events, Bill. I mean, it's
well,
pretty
great,
little light here.
Great presentation. Thank you.
All right. I'm not going to say too much because I could go on about all of this, but because there's some other commissioners who want to say some things. So Commissioner Jeremy Wells, if you want to start.
Well, first I'm going to be a little snarky and say good luck getting that license for the FIFA watch party. But if you want to know how to get under the radar with the watch party, I am an expert in that. So I also wanted to let you know that I heard today from the Montgomery County LGBTQ Council, and they will be sending representation to our June 1st Pride flag ceremony. So we should
awesome.
do that. And the last thing I wanted to mention was, in addition to just being overall thrilled with everything that's happening this summer, I'm so excited about how robust your summer camp offerings have become. There was a period of time where, it just was becoming less and less active, desirable to send our kids to the township camps. And as a mom with children who I need coverage for in the summer, these local camps are filling up in August, September for the next year. Folks are posting in February and complaining that all of the camps that they usually go to, Abington, Englewood, all the local big camps are filled up. And so this is for you and also for Lauren, who I saw on the call earlier, but just responding to those posts or requests and making sure that people know throughout the year that this is coming. I think we have a great opportunity to really continue to build that program. There's so many people that are looking for consistent summer coverage. So thank you. Kudos.
Thank you.
Commissioner Stein.
It really goes right into my question. I was just going to ask, do you still have space in summer recess and in the sports camp? And you just so people are aware if there's still space.
We do still have space available, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And to Commissioner Shermy Walls' point, at some point we'll have, 3 camps running, right? Once we have 2 community centers active plus the Glenside campus. So more opportunities for folks in their neighborhood for sure.
Are we able to, with the funds for the amount of money that we charge for these events, are we able to break even or make money off of these? Are we able to cover all of our costs with all of these?
So the concerts are built
No, I
into
meant the camps and the recess.
the camps are pretty close. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I have to look at the staffing cost with it, but we do have a budget that we put together for the actual camp as far as supplies and trips and stuff. And that definitely breaks even when staffing comes into play. We may take a little bit of a hit, but I'll have to look into that.
I'm impressed too that you're taking them outside the township on these events as well. I mean, that's a level of care and thoughtfulness and that you bring to this that is just goes beyond. So I really just can't say enough wonderful things when I see all of this happen. So yeah, great job. Commissioner Lewis.
Yes, thank you. Bill, do you need any assistance with lunch for any of the camps this year?
Now the school district came through with summer lunches.
Wonderful.
So we had a meeting about that last week. So that's didn't make it onto the presentation because it wasn't finalized, but it is now. So we're good. We're good to go.
Great.
Wow. I mean, so much. Any other commissioners, other members of the community? Bill, thank you so much. I really
You're welcome.
cannot say enough about how happy I am to see all
Great
of
work.
this. So
Great.
Yeah, well, again, if I may just please thank my team every time you see them. Thank the guards at the pools. Thank the camp counselors if you're bring your kids to camp because they're the ones, who help make the magic happen on a day-to-day basis. I'm happy to lead them and come up with some fun ideas, but they really, I couldn't do it without them. So please make sure you thank them as well.
will do. Thank you so much. All right. Let's go on to the public information report. And Ms. Walter, good evening.
Good evening. Does anyone have any questions about my report? Okay, I will take that. I don't have anything to highlight from my report this month. I am working on the calendar to try and finalize that by the end of this month. And I just wanted to offer a comment about a webinar that I was on today through 3CMA, which is, oh, sorry, there is a bug near my head and it scared me. Uh, so yes, that is how I react to that situation. But a webinar that I was on through the membership that I have with them. And so this is a great network of communicators across the country. And it was on social media. And in your spare time, I would encourage checking out the Utah Department of Transportation. It is one that I've actually been following for a while, but this webinar was actually welcomed them as the guest. It's awesome. It's really just a personal level of engagement. It's real. I think you'll find maybe some of that Ken Hellendahl humor-esque relatability from the emergency management page. And I just wanted to highlight that and the value both the value of having this network and you allowing me to be part of this association, but also goals for our future township communications. Changes to that level will not happen overnight. They are a state department with a full-time social media person in addition to a PIO and a comms director. And I am me. But I am doing my best for you all, and I just wanted to share that with you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Good. Any questions for Ms. Walter, commissioners? Anyone from the public? All right.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. I didn't know I had to take the speaker thing off for the last presentation. I wasn't asking about the date of the Lamont, because that's going to be a wonderful event. I was wondering when it was going to be put up at the township meeting, at the township.
Ms. Daniels, you'll get that information offline. I don't know that the time has been established yet. So we'll talk about, you can reach out to Mr. Salvatore, and I'm sure a time will be established at some point. We're more than a month away. So,
well, if you could just email me that information, that would be appreciated.
I think he has been emailing you. I'm sure he will email you. I know we've all been involved in it
now because it didn't come up.
It's more than a month away, Ms. Daniels. We'll get that information for you, okay?
I hope more than sooner than later.
Ms. Daniels, I don't think anyone from this township has been unresponsive to your requests.
I didn't say it wasn't unresponsive.
Okay, well then let's move on, okay? I appreciate you.
Do you really?
If you want to speak at times when we ask the community to speak about topics, you can. But otherwise, we ask, if you want to talk about this at the end, you can more than welcome to speak at the end about this. We have citizens forum. But right now, we're talking with Ms. Walters of the Public Information Office. So, anything else from Ms. Walters? Ms. Walter, excuse me. I did have a question. Do you have any more ad space for the calendar, or is that full?
I do have ad space, actually.
Okay, cool. Let's talk offline then.
Thank you.
All right. Let's take all three of these together, and I would like to make a motion to accept all three of these reports.
All in favor of accepting the first three reports, say aye.
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 All right. Now we're going to go through the receipt of the committee meeting minutes. We do have minutes from the Historical Commission, as well as that's it. So I'd like to make a motion. Anyone have any questions or comments about the Historical Commission report? All right. So I'd like to make a motion to accept those minutes.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Move on to item C. I make a motion for the receipt of the staff meeting minutes for April 28th, 2026.
Any questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, let's move on to item number 4, old business. Does any of the commissioners, I should say, have any old business to bring up for public affairs? All right, we'll skip right through that then. Let's move on to new business. 5A, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners authorize a 5-year franchise renewal agreement between Cheltenham Township and Verizon Pennsylvania, granting a non-exclusive franchise to Verizon Pennsylvania LLC to construct, reconstruct, operate, maintain, and extend a cable communication system in the township in accordance with the terms of said cable franchise agreement, and there is an attachment. Manager Elliott, would you like to weigh in on what this all means?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought there was going to be someone from Verizon here tonight, but I don't see anyone, so I'll try to pinch in on this. So municipalities are permitted to enter into franchise agreements with companies like Verizon, and we also have a franchise agreement with Comcast for allowing them to install their cable network within our right-of-way. It doesn't apply to their internet service or phone services or anything. It's purely just for cable. And in exchange for that ability for them to locate the franchise, they pay certain fees based on the amount of revenue that they bring in. So it is a source of revenue for the township. So the township has been has had a contract with Verizon, I believe, since 2016, and this is the third renewal. It is a 5-year renewal. Nothing really is fundamentally changing with this contract from the last contract. Um, Other than just kind of allowing them to provide this basic service to the community. There is I guess, an additional provision for the township, which is contributions towards what's called their PEG channel, which is Public and Education and Government Access. Typically, Comcast and Verizon were contributing to the cable channels for public access. These things have been getting phased out, both by the school district and townships since 2020. But there's still going to be a contribution or grant to the township in the amount of $20,000 that will go toward equipment for cameras and lighting and other things that would help with some of our broadcasting, our videos and podcasts that we've been utilizing in the township to help with our media communications that Lauren and Bill and the rest of the team have been working on. And we're really excited to be able to utilize this for that purpose. So, but yeah, that's really in a nutshell, what this contract is for. And I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you have.
Do any of the commissioners have any questions? Nope. Anyone, any of the community members? All right. So I guess I would make a motion to consider recommending that we authorize this 5-year franchise agreement at next week's meeting.
All those in favor of that recommendation at next week's meeting, say aye.
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 Moving on to 5B, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners approve the proposal of KCBA for architectural and engineering services for renovations to the Public Works facility in the amount of $122,525. Allison, you want to take this one again?
Sure, absolutely. So this is one of the projects that we were very fortunate to be able to receive some grant funding for. This is for the RACP grant program through the state. We received $450,000. So this is to assist with some pretty necessary improvements in our public works facility, specifically to our locker rooms, to make sure that they're functioning and well organized, looking at other improvements such as heat in our garage that would facilitate our round-the-clock operations that we have during snow and emergency operations, and just to help kind of improve the working conditions in that building, which is, I believe, was built in the 70s. So it's kind of at that point where it needs some work in order to continue functioning. So we're very fortunate to be able to use this $450,000 grant, which we need to match with another 50%. So at least a $900,000 project with renovations and design.
Okay. Any questions from the commissioners? Commissioner Norris?
Thank you, Commissioner Cherico. Manager Elliott, my question has to do, I'm not disputing that the Public Works is an old building and in need of repair. 900,000, it sounds like a lot to me, but my question really is, how does this project impact, or to what extent have we factored in our long-term plans to move the Public Works building? And I say long-term, unfortunately, it's becoming long-term, but I think the intent of the commissioners 2 years ago coming up with a vision and a plan for numerous facilities in the township, our definite vote at that time was to be moving the Public Works building.
Sure. So this grant was written kind of early on in the facilities planning process. And it was originally for kind of a relocation project that it actually fell through. So we worked with the state in order to kind of reutilize the funds. They were very specific that it should be used toward public works facility improvements, but $900,000 does sound like a lot of money, but it will get used up very, very quickly. And these improvements we felt were very kind of necessary given the conditions down in that building. And I think they will be, I think, very much appreciated and necessary, and kind of carry that building until some other plans are made for it.
Okay, yeah, I'm certainly not arguing the need for improvements in the building. It's more how much longer we might be having that building.
Sure.
So that's something that I'm going to ask, not tonight, but if you perhaps that's for an executive session. I'm not certain whether there can be some further discussion or further update on the progress or lack of progress as far as moving to another location.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Commissioner Jeremy Walls.
Um, Commissioner Norris took my question, but I'm going to add on to it a little bit. Um, so I'll start by saying I appreciate that the current condition of the building. I also appreciate that there's a real need in the interim to have revised locker space and some other updates. My question is, without knowing what is going to happen to that facility in particular, and with the desire to have some movement around it, um, and the fact that IRACP is a matching grant, and so we have to do a 50-50 match from somewhere else or from our own budget.
Right.
I paused on this item because it feels like a large investment in a building that we don't know what is happening in any amount of time, right? 3 to 5 years, longer than that. And so I challenge us to have that conversation. But also the question was, if that's still on the line, can we work with the RACP funding, the state funding? It takes a while for it to come in. I don't know if that's something we already have in hand. A lot of times it's a reimbursement program where you have to shell the money out first and get reimbursed for it. So I just wanted to see if you had a little bit of thought around that, and what your thoughts for next steps continuing this conversation would be.
Yeah, so like I said, I think the concern with the funding is we were granted the funding. We do have a limited amount of time in which to use it. We also had reached out to the funding agency to determine how much wiggle room there is in that change of scope from the original plan that we had. And there really wasn't much. They really wanted it to continue to be used for public works facilities, rather than kind of diverting it to something else. Long term, the thought for that building, there really hasn't been any movement on that building. Hold on 1 second. I just pressed mute. Okay, got it. There really hasn't been really any long-term plans for that. So we really want to make sure that we're continuing to put investment in the buildings to keep them operating until such time that there is a longer term plan for them. I know this board in the past has struggled. I know the staff struggles with how much investment do you put in these buildings to make sure that they continue to operate and function until a decision can be made. The heaters are going to fail, and they are failing in our garage, and we need the heaters to function. Making sure that the conditions are comfortable for our employees. I don't think, and I could be wrong, and this could be a further conversation, that this building is going anywhere in the next 5 years. Maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20, but we don't really know that. So trying to make sure that we have operational locker room facilities for our employees, and making sure the heat works in the garage. I think these are all things that I think will be very valuable to the continued operation of this facility at this point.
Any other questions about this item? Commissioner Stein?
I'm just wondering how much time you think this buys us in the bill. These particular updates. Does it not necessarily change the overall facilities plan that ultimately we'd like to move this, but does it maybe put this facility sort of towards the end of the scheduling if this buys us, let's say 10 years or how long?
Yes, I think this buys us some time. Our assessment, and I know Alan's been in that building quite a bit, and I know we don't have any public works people on the facility on the call, but the building is in good enough shape that they can continue to operate out of it for a longer term. And I think it has always been a building that was toward the end of our facilities plan, rather than toward the beginning. So, like I said, I don't think this is a short term, unless we find some amazing opportunity that really we can't refuse. I don't think this is a building we're turning around and divesting or renovating in the next 10 years. So this definitely buys us that time and creates a more comfortable and enjoyable work environment for our employees while they're still continuing to work there.
Any other questions from commissioners or comments? All right, then I will make a motion that we approve that we recommend to the Board of Commissioners approval of the proposal from KCBA for renovations to the Public Works facility.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All right, moving on to item 5C. Consider recommending the Board of Commissioners present a proclamation recognizing June as Pride Month at the May 20th, 2026 Board of Commissioners meeting. I make a motion for that recommendation.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Sorry, I didn't ask if there was any questions. My apologies.
Oh, sorry, I jumped.
Item 5D, consider recommending the Board of Commissioners appoint the following residents to serve as voting members on the following citizens committees. David Michael Kenny of Glenside to be a voting member on the Economic Development Task Force. Tom Estelo of Cheltenham to fill the vacancy for the Friends of Elkins Park Library. Rachel Banner of Elkins Park to be a voting member on the Historical Commission. Lakeisha Rodwell Green of Elkins Park to be a voting member on the Economic Development Task Force, and Ben Adams of Cheltenham to be a voting member on the Traffic Calming Committee. He'll be doing double duty since he's also on the Active Transportation Committee. Any comments, questions, concerns from the commissioners about these?
Oh, yeah.
Commissioner Norris.
Yeah, a comment. So definitely not a concern with any of them, but just a thank you to these individuals who are volunteering, and a reminder, as we often say, we have a lot of great citizens in our community. There's an opportunity on a whole bunch of citizens committees, and a lot of good work is done, and Cheltenham is much stronger because of the volunteer efforts of these citizens groups. So I'm thanking these new members as well as all those who are already on the committees.
Okay, there was just a comment. Yes. Okay. So there was the agenda says that to fill a vacancy for the Friends of Elkins Park Library. He's actually on the Friends of Elkins Park Library. He'll be on the library board. So let me reiterate that. Thank you, Ms. Bowers. I appreciate you bringing that to our attention. So Tom Estelo of Cheltenham to fill the vacancy on the library board, the Cheltenham Township Library Board.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. We'll make that as we vote on this. Ms. Haywood, do you have a comment or question?
Yes, just a comment. I wanted to echo what Commissioner Norris just said about our volunteers in our community. Thank you very much. I wanted to point out, again, Ms. Bowers, thank you for making that correction regarding Mr. Estelo. We're looking forward to the commissioners making their full vote next week, appointing Tom Estelo to the library board. I just also want to thank David Michael Kenny, who I know personally. I'm sure he's going to be a really great asset to the Economic Development Task Force as well. So thank you all the volunteers that are stepping up for these community groups. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other comments from the commissioners or from the community? All right, then I'll make a motion that we consider recommending that the Board of Commissioners appoint those following residents on the citizens committees, and my thanks to all of them as well.
All those in favor of recommending to the Board of Commissioners these 5 individuals to the respective citizens committees, say aye.
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 Okay. Any other new business that any commissioner would like to bring up? All right. Let's move on to item 6, announcements. Any announcements? Staff, commissioners, Manager Elliott. All right. I think we talked about it all. Sounds good. Let's move on to Citizens Forum. Item number. I'm sorry, Ms. Walter.
I just thought that the announcements, it might be a good plug for the program working through Parks and Rec. If anyone would like to dedicate a flag for a loved one that passed in service to our country, there is a form on the website. It is free to do. We will be making a field of flags for the May 23rd event.
That's great. Awesome.
Yeah, it's
Thank
very
you so much.
thoughtful that you've
Yeah, I love
added
that
that to
idea.
the, yeah, great idea.
Thank you for taking that on and for reminding us about that. Any other announcements? All right. Then let's move on to Citizens Forum. Anyone want to speak about any topic that you saw on the agenda, that we discussed on the agenda, or anything on your mind at all? All right. I'm guessing that's it. All right. So let's move on to, I'll close Citizens Forum and we move on to 8, adjournment. I make a motion to adjourn.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye.